Morning, guys. Jeff coming to you here again. Kind of forcing myself into doing this video because I already know the reactions to me making this an action. I'm almost 100% positive this will be deleted. I'll probably be banned off Facebook. This will probably be the catalyst that gets me pulled. But I'm going to put this out anyways. The time's, I would say, closing in, but it's already closed in. They've already got their chess pieces on their board. They've already got us surrounded. Now it's just a matter of them going through the motions. I want to connect a couple dots today. And it has to do with the 5G. It has to do with the coronavirus. It has to do with the executive orders. It has to do with their ultimate plan, their ultimate intentions. Let me start with, let's rewind. I'm not sure how I want to go about doing this, which one I want to discuss first. So I'll just go with the more recent. Back in March of this year, 2020, Trump passed an executive order that secure. Matter of fact, just let me just read it. HR 2881, Secure 5G and Beyond Act of 2020. This was brought before the committee 10/30/19. The committee is the Energy and Commerce, and the other one is Foreign Affairs. Okay. And like I said, it went before the Senate 1/9/2020. Received in the Senate, read twice, placed on Senate legislative calendar under general orders. And let's fast forward to March. This bill requires the president, in consultation with relevant federal agencies, to develop a strategy to secure and protect U.S. fifth and future generations 5G systems and infrastructure, and implementation plan for strategies. Such strategies shall ensure the security of 5G wireless communication systems and infrastructure within the United States, assist mutual defense treaty allies, strategic partners, and other countries in maximizing the security of 5G systems and infrastructure, and protect the competitiveness of U.S. companies, the privacy of U.S. consumers, and the impartiality of standard-setting bodies. Okay, so basically Trump passed this bill back in March, and he basically vowed, he said he will have this system up and running and able to run to full capacity in 180 days. Okay, 180 days is 6 months. 6 months from March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Now we just rolled into October. So in other words, this system is up. This system is around us. Now let me give a loose breakdown of how this system works. For these last 6 months, Elon Musk has been putting into our lower orbiting around the planet, lower orbiting geosatellites. These geosatellites are what send this 5G signal. It sends the 5G signal down to these towers, these newer towers. I know if you live in any form of a populated area, you've seen them. Okay, it sends a signal from these satellites to these towers. These towers send the signals out to these pole toppers, and these pole toppers are strategically spaced out around these populated areas. And the way it works is from these towers, it sends it to the pole toppers, and pole toppers bing them around between them. And this is how they create an entire grid over a heavily populated area. Okay, this is how they're able to expose a mass population to these frequencies. I mean, and they've been around us already for a while now with the new smart meters. I mean, our smartphones, but it's not to the capacity of the frequencies, because the fourth generation, the 4G, was operating on a broadband signaling system. These new ones operate on a millimeter band system, which means they got to be closer to us. And I say this because they're making it like there's no kind of harmful effects on the human body. They use this term non-ionizing, which means they can't see to the naked eye that is doing anything to us. But let me explain something about our skin, about our bodies. Okay, our skin is like a solar panel. Our skin absorbs radiation. I mean, this is how we're able to get vitamin D from the sun. This is a natural ability of our body. But the synthetic frequencies that are not natural in nature are being subjected to us. And this leads me to my next point of reference. I want you guys to look into these points I'm making, these documents yourself, and dig into them deeper, because you're going to get more and more information out of it. Okay. In 1971, the Navy was doing experiments with radio frequencies and microwave frequencies and seeing the effects they were getting on humans. They were seeing the reactions that correlated between the two. And this was declassified in 97. And you can look these up. I mean, it's declassified. It's open to the public. And I'm just going to read the abstract. And I'll let you all fill in the blanks and look deeper into it, because when you look deeper into it, you're going to see the correlations between where I'm about to get. Okay. Abstract. More than 2,000 references on the biological responses to radio frequency and microwave radiation, published up to June 1971, are included in this bibliography. Particular attention has been paid to the effects on man of non-ionizing radiation at these frequencies. The citations are arranged alphabetically by author and contains as much information as possible so as to ensure effective retrieval of the original documents. An outline of the effects which have been attributed to radio frequencies and microwave radiation is also part of the report. Keywords in these biological effects: non-ionizing radiation, radar hazards, radio frequency radiation, microwave radiation, health hazards, bibliography, electromagnetic radiation injury. The comments upon and criticism of this literature made in this report and the recommendation and inference suggest are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Navy Department or of the Naval Service. And it's a 25-page long document that they go deep into the effects. And in short, All of these subjections to these humans of these microwave and radio frequencies, the exposure to these EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, were showing flu-like symptoms. It was affecting their breathing, most importantly. And that is the point. Stop and connect the dots. Back when this coronavirus had the outbreaks over in Wuhan, China, in Italy, and on these cruise ships, look into, because they were bragging, they were advertising how they had the 5G state-of-the-art systems up and running. And this is the catalyst that I'm getting to now. They know what these different frequencies on these different bandwidths do and the effects they have on the human biology. They know this. They know this from the past studies all the way back to 70s. And that's the thing, is you can even, here's another one you can look into. Wilhelm Reich and his Argon accumulator. Matter of fact, I'll just read a quick debriefing, another one you all can look into to see that this scientifically proven evidence already exists. In Wilhelm Reich, this is where I believe the Navy got this technology and the ideals behind them doing it in the 70s. Because Wilhelm Reich was doing it in the 50s. And I'm just going to give you a quick debrief on it. In 1940, Wilhelm Reich constructed the first device to accumulate Argon energy, a six-sided box constructed of alternating layers of organic materials to abstract the energy and metallic materials to radiate the energy towards the center of the box. Now, what he was doing, he created this box that was inorganic material and natural organic material. And what he was doing, he was putting these people inside the box and he was studying the frequency at which the human body radiates, at the frequency at which their atomical structure vibrate. And what he was doing, he was putting these natural, after he discovered the frequencies, he was putting these natural frequencies inside. He would put the human inside the box that had, say, cancer. He would put these natural frequencies that resonated with the human body, he would feed it inside this box, and it would bounce, it would accumulate, it would bounce around inside this box, basically exposing and coating the human with these natural frequencies. And these natural frequencies was destroying cancer. It was destroying diseases. And he was proving this. And this is where the deeper you study into Wilhelm Reich, you see how the systems, the establishments, started just discrediting him. And another one that they did this to was Harry Hoxsey. He battled the synthetic chemical-based industry, which was J.D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, and J.P. Morgan. They're the ones that bought out the school boards. They're the ones that pushed and funded pharmaceuticals and vaccinations. And they basically, Harry Hoxsey basically battled them for over 20 years in the public eye. But Hoxsey wasn't in it for the money. He was in it for trying to help his fellow human and create health and happiness, while the synthetic chemical-based industry was all in it for the money. And they had endless resources, financial resources, with J.D. Rockefeller. He's the first billionaire on this planet. So they basically battled him in the public eye, bashing him, putting all these endless financial resources into the newspapers, putting articles out, calling him quackery, until they basically financially drained him. But that's just the point of how the establishments are doing this, and what they done to Wilhelm Reich in his discoveries, studies, practices, evidence, results. They bashed him. They discredited him to protect their special interest. But this gets to my point. They know what these different frequencies on these different bandwidths do to the human biology. And the fact of the matter is, these new 5G systems are capable of running up to over 100 plus gigahertz. There's absolutely nothing beneficial to the human body, to living organisms with that capacity. Absolutely none. So this is the order of operation, what they're doing. Because while we were locked down, while all these families were locked in their home, satellites were going up. There's over 40,000 lower orbiting satellites right now in our orbit that are the new 5Gs. Countless hundreds of thousands of towers, countless hundreds of thousands pole toppers have all been installed. These new receivers were installed in our kids' schools. And stop and think about this one. Look in like hospital parking lots, Walmart parking lots, outside of schools. There's towers. Then look at inside of these establishments, the Walmarts and the hospitals and the schools and your workplace. They've got the receivers on the outside of the building. Then they've got the Wi-Fi routers inside of the building. And what do all kids from like second grade up, what do they all use? Wireless devices. So pay mind to, because this is going to happen in the next few months. We're back around to the flu season, just in time for the new Facebook guidelines to go into effect, where they can remove any kind of post, comment, and profiles altogether. Because I already know mine's going to be one to go with their first little wave. I'm surprised I'm still there now, but I ain't been pushing too much on it. But my point being, information is like what I'm putting out right here, right now. This is the shit. This is why they put this clause, this new guideline into effect. They can straight up just pull my profile without due cause, without due process, without reasoning, without evidence. They just can pull it. And the point behind that is, these new 5G systems are up and running. What's going to happen? These kids that are in school, okay? People that are shopping in Walmart, all these different places that are closest to these towers. All they have to do is set this frequency, set this resonance, these coordinates on these fucking computers that send signals to the satellite. Signals being down to the pole or down to the towers. Towers being out to the pole toppers. This grid goes over these communities. People start having these biological reactions that appear to be flu-like, just like in the beginning of the coronavirus. It was flu-like symptoms. Not the flu, though. Don't confuse it for the flu. And that's the thing. Here in the States, people that were getting sick and they're calling coronavirus, it's not a fucking, I mean, it is a coronavirus, but it's not what they have indoctrinated us to believe. This wasn't what I'm speaking about now. This isn't the radiational poisoning. This was just a regular ass flu. And what they are identifying as a virus, I've asked this for over years now, before even the coronavirus, because I've been studying microbiology, epidemiology, virology, immunology. I've been studying all this shit. And that's the thing. Find the best, any one of those people inside those fields, and ask him to do this one thing. Differentiate the microscopic pictures of any, I mean, let them choose the virus they want, whether Zika, SARS, swine flu, coronavirus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus, any of these viruses. And I said microscopic picture, not a theorized model that was created on a computer, but the actual picture that they are seeing with the naked eye, what they are identifying as the virus under a microscope. Then have them put next to it the microscopic picture of that virus's antibody. Put them next to each other and then have them differentiate between the antibody and the virus. Have them tell you how they are identifying it differently. Because I know how this PCR test is working. They're taking this exosome, because what it is, it's an exosome cell. It's a natural part of our genetic material. It's a natural part of our fucking immune system. Exosome cells are so small, they're created by the white blood cell. Their sole purpose is to flow around our bodily fluids and to absorb any kind of foreign invaders, solvents. I mean, it's really shit that's in our air or in our food or in our water or that we are exposed to. These cells are designed to absorb these foreign materials that's not supposed to be there. And what these cells do, they're going to mutate. And depending on your bacterial environment that it has around it to feed off of, determines what it mutates into. If you have if you consume a hydrogen-rich diet, an alkaline diet, live fruits and vegetables, a lot of water, then you have something called prebiotics and probiotics. It is a hydrogen-rich bacteria that resonates with our body. It works in harmony with our body. If this is the bacterial environment this contaminated exosome cell has to feed off of, it's going to mutate this contaminated exosome cell into an antibody, ultimately teaching our body how to protect itself from that type of material for future exposure. This is us creating immunity. Our problem is, which they refuse to fucking address, we consume a highly acidic diet. We're constantly eating foods that ferment in our body to an acidic bacteria. Foods like meats and cheeses and milks and breads and alcohol and sugars. This is all acidic. This is all ferments to our digestive system into Candida albicans. Now, when this contaminated exosome cell only has this Candida albicans to feed off of, this acidic bacteria to feed off of, that does not resonate with our human biology, it basically feeds on this Candida albicans and it creates a virus. This virus is really by design of our body to get this foreign shit out of us because we don't have the means to fucking create antibodies. So what's it do? It compromises our mucous membrane, coating this foreign shit that we can't protect ourselves from. It coats it with mucus, all while going around our bodily fluids, gathering up the acidic properties, gathering up the toxins, gathering up all this foreign shit we can't protect ourselves from. And then this is when our natural defensive mechanisms kick in that we know as symptoms. Our temperature rising, our sweating, our coughing, the sneezing, the puking. This is our body's natural defensive mechanisms trying to get this shit out of us ASAP. But they're teaching us that we're contracting a live virus. No, a virus cannot survive outside of an incubated condition. So my point being behind, I wanted to explain viruses, exosome cells, and antibodies. They can't tell you the difference. Our entire fucking medical departments and viruses is based on germ theory, the virus theory. It is not based on scientifically proven facts results. It is based on theorized models created on a computer. This takes conspiracy theory to a whole nother level because everybody's buying into this shit. Because the fact of the matter is, human bodies are bacterial factories. We have over tens of thousands of different bacteria species in our body. Thousands of them reside within our gut. But what are they doing? They're teaching us to sanitize, to kill off bacteria. They're giving us antibiotics that kills off bacteria. This stops us from having the means to create antibodies. Because like I said, prebiotics and probiotics is bacteria too. It kills that too. That's what gives us immunity. This is the shit they're failing to fucking teach us. They're teaching us to put a fucking mask over our fucking faces. They're teaching us to fucking sanitize everything, to be scared of each other and stay away from our fellow humans. We're a fucking compassionate species. We're meant to fucking see each other's smiles. We're meant to hug and love each other. But that's another fucking mechanism they're psychologically conditioning and engineering into human societies. They're putting us in a fear-based state, which kicks us into fight or flight mode, which kicks in our natural biochemical production of cortisol, which hinders and stops our immunity responses. We're killing off the bacteria and the germs in our environment that we're supposed to be taking within to create antibodies and protect ourselves. So what's happening now? This is the order of operation that they're doing. They've locked all these people inside of their houses, and now they're about to send back to school, or they've already sent back to school. So everybody's going back with these weakened immune systems, these muzzles over their faces. And what's going to happen? They're going to be playing with these new 5G frequencies. They're going to be inducing flu-like symptoms. People are going to get sick because this wave, this year, is going to be our children, because they're going to be heavily exposed to EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. They're going to be subjected to radiational frequencies, which is going to give them flu-like symptoms. So now they're going to say this year, the coronavirus mutated. Now it's attacking our children. This is a smoking mirror of illusion, because this is going to be the catalyst that pushes their mandatory vaccinations. Because like last year, it was, if you don't wear the mask, if you don't stay away from social distancing and sanitize everything, you don't care about old folks and people with pre-existing conditions. This year, it's going to be, if you don't get vaccinated, you don't care about the children. Which, this is their end game. It's when they get the majority of the populace vaccinated that they know what frequency excites and activates heavy metals. That's going to be lodged throughout our brain and our neurological systems of those who have been vaccinated. It's going to be equivalent on a microscopic, on an atomic level, of sticking aluminum foil in a microwave. It's going to fry our neurological systems. It's going to be instant death. This is their intention and their agenda and motivation to depopulate the planet. If I could stress the most to anybody watching this video, share this information and apply our body's natural ability to flush toxins. Refuse to your last dying breath, refuse their fucking vaccinations. Because if you don't refuse it, if you don't stop them from injecting that poison into your fucking children, your children are dead. You are dead. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time for them to hit a button on a fucking computer. This is their end game. Study how, if you don't consume any solid foods for a 72-hour period, you drink nothing but water, your body rebalances its homeostasis, and your body will flush out the endocrine system, the neurological system, your liver, your gallbladder, your appendix. Your body flushes these toxins out when the sun goes down. Take a fucking salt bath. Put yourself in this hydrogen-rich environment, because your body, your skin, has two sole purposes. One is to flush toxins from within to without. And two is to bring in vitamin D, enzymes from the sun. And it's not a coincidence. They're putting these chemtrails. This is what I believe is the catalyst. This is the contaminant that is making us sick. This is what's contaminating our exosome cells, giving us this coronavirus. And at the same time, they're blotting out the sun. They're stopping us from having a good source of vitamin D naturally coming from the sun, being able to absorb into our fucking skin to give us this balancement. Exercise your body's ability to flush itself out. Get rid of acidic foods. Start eating more live fruits and vegetables. And I'm not going to get into the genetically modified foods, but yes, it does have a big factor in it. But the fact of the matter is, genetically modified foods are better than the acidics. Invest in white vinegar. Soak your foods in white vinegar because white vinegar will take off pesticides and herbicides. Get rid of sodas. Drink more fucking good spring water. These is our greatest chances of surviving as a human species with the intentions and these engineered infrastructures that's built around us. Our health system does not address the root causes to our issues because they are, whether consciously or unconsciously, willingly or unwillingly, protecting special interests of the elite corporations. The synthetic chemical-based industries, the pesticides, the herbicides, the fluoride in our water. I mean, the pharmaceuticals, the vaccinations, the toxins that they pass through our EPA, FDA, CDC. All of these organizations are owned and lobbied by these elitists, protected by our politicians. It's time for us to wake up as a collective. First, do it individually, then share this information. And I already know I'm gonna get fucking countless people calling me a conspiracy theorist, countless people calling me crazy, because people will fear that which they don't understand. Don't put blind faith in any of the establishments. Don't put blind faith in what I'm telling you here. I'm telling you this information so you can look into it for yourself. I call myself a gardener of minds. My job is to merely throw seeds out there. Some will take root, some will flourish into plants and drop new seeds. Some soil ain't ready for it. Some humans are going to accept it, acknowledge it. Some won't. Some are going to keep that blind faith in the establishments because it's easier. But blind faith leads to needless suffering. So as I said, don't put blind faith in any of the establishments, into anybody. Not your religion, not your health system, not your government, not your school. You are given a cognitive brain to ask questions. You are given a cognitive brain to seek your answers. Seek it unbiasedly. Fuck being black, being white, being Republican, being Democrat, being gay, being straight, being so many different tactics are being used, and it's the same tricks since the ancient Roman days. It's the divide and conquer and circuses of entertainment. Because as the Roman emperor once said loosely, I'll paraphrase here, build them a coliseum of bread and entertainment, and they will never revolt our systems of control. Turn off your fucking TVs. Stop buying into the mainstream bullshit because they are owned by the elite corporations to push their agenda. It's MK Ultra and it's Operation Mockingbird. Both of those were done multiple generations ago within their government psyops, and they're still in effect today. Do your homework, my friends. I'm only putting this out because I care and love people. I care and love your children. I want to see our next generation happy and healthy. Because it's only when we ask our questions, seek our answers, that we receive our answers. This is ask and ye shall receive. The universe is unbiased. As I finish every one of my videos, knowledge is key, health is foundation, belief is success, and wisdom is power. Be conscious to your greatest God-given abilities. I hope all create blessed days for themselves, and I love you guys. One love.